In this worksheet, I'm going to teach you how to do molecular formulas. The title of this worksheet is called Empirical and Molecular. It looks like this, but we didn't do the entire left side and we did not do this side. There's another video that's going to teach you to do empirical, and then you can come back and finish this. So what I'm specifically teaching you and what will be due for grade is this right hand side, and it's called empirical formulas. You're going to need a calculator and a periodic table. Oh, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. This bottom side over here is called molecular formula. Okay, and the formula for that is you're going to take the molar mass and you're going to divide it by the empirical mass. So two masses get divided. And I'll tell you what to do with that answer in just a second. Just know that that's the formula. The molar mass is always given to you, so that's nice. You don't have to do any work. Okay, this is the molar mass. And that is always going to be the numerator. So the only thing we need to calculate is the denominator. We know how to find total mass of elements. Okay, so let's work on the first one, P205. I'll do the first two with you, and that should help you get the swing of things. I'm going to do it on this extra sheet of paper so you can see clearly what I'm doing. Phosphorus, the mass on the periodic table, which is the little number under the symbol, so underneath the P is the mass. It's right there, 30.974. If you want to round, that's fine. I have two of them because it says I have two phosphorus. Oxygen in this formula, I have 5 of them. It's 15.99 times 5. I'm going to add these two numbers together. I'm going to get a calculator and I'm going to do 30.79 times 2. 61.58. And then I need to get the mass of my oxygen, 15.99 times 5. So to get the total mass of P2O5, I add these two together. 61.58 plus 79.95. The total mass is 141.53. Now if you take a look here, this is the empirical formula. So what I just calculated was the empirical mass. So I'm going to go back. The formula says molar mass divided by the empirical mass. So 283.9 divided by 141.53. That little line just means divide. 283.9 divided by 141.53. I'm dividing those two numbers in the calculator. This is what I got. 2.0059. It's fine if you put the number 2. Okay? So whatever number you get after dividing them, this is what you multiply to the original subscripts. So really when you're dividing your molar mass divided by the empirical mass, the number you get is what you multiply. So the number you get, you will multiply to original subscripts on the empirical formula. And let me show you how we do that. That might not make sense until you see it, and then it'll be really easy. So our original empirical formula was P205. Okay, and the number I got here after dividing them was 2. So after I divided 283.9 divided by 141.53 equals 2. Now this is, we'll call this the multiplier, because that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to multiply this number by the original subscripts. So in essence, you're making it bigger. When you multiply things, you generally make them bigger. So your final answer is going to be P4O10. And that's what I would write up here. I'll give you a second to write that down, or you can pause it. Okay, again, so what you're doing is you're dividing two numbers. You are dividing the molar mass, which is given to you, and you're dividing it by the empirical formula. So it's this divided by that. So you're just dividing those. The only work we really have to do is we have to find the mass of all these. And the only way to find the mass is we have to look at what? You need to look at the periodic table. So I'm going to do the next one for you. It gives me the molar mass. I'm going to write down the formula so I know what I'm looking for. Okay, I already have my molar mass. I need the empirical mass. This is the formula. I need to get the mass of it though. So I only have one nitrogen. So that mass is 14.007. And then I have two hydrogens. 1.008 times 2. You can round if you want. And that gives me 2.016. So I'm going to add these two numbers in order to get the total mass for NH2. So now I have my empirical mass. Now that you have the empirical mass, where are you going to plug it in? The numerator or the denominator? Or do we start with this number and divide by 32? Or do we start with 32 and divide by this empirical mass? So the empirical mass will always be the denominator. So I'm going to type that in the calculator. 32 divided by 16.023. This is what I get in the calculator, 1.99, and it's completely fine if you round up to 2. Okay, there's your multiplier. So let's do this. So the original empirical formula was 1 nitrogen and 2 hydrogens. Just look at the problem. Just because it does not have a subscript 1, you know there's 1 nitrogen because you can see the N, the symbol represents a nitrogen atom. So multiply this by each subscript to get new subscripts. 2 times 1, 2 times 2. This is your final answer. I hope you found this helpful, and on the next video I'm going to teach you how to do empirical formula with the new worksheet, and then after you learn empirical formula you can come back and do this left hand side. Okay, because this is the empirical formula. Another way to think about it is with molecular, that's what I just taught you down here. You're making the formulas bigger. See, P2O5, it went to P4O10. NH2 went to N2H4. So molecular, they're getting bigger, and I'm going to teach you empirical right now, and they're going to get smaller.